So here we are. We are live. It's just after 7:30 p.m. on the East Coast here in sunny South Florida. And I want to go ahead and just say thank you for those of you that made it here live. And this is being recorded. So if you're watching on the webinar, love you too. But want to go ahead and get started. And again, my name is, if you don't know me, you probably do because you're on my email list. But if for some reason you're watching this and you're not on my email list, my name is Matt Menster. I'm the founder of a little mom and pop shop for traders called MM Publishing Inc. And through recent developments in technology, I've finally been able to build some stuff that I've been wanting to build for a long time. So here we are, guys. And I've also found a few good programmers too, so which is not easy to do. So anyways, let's get started, guys. How many of you are into trading zero DTEs? Well, if you're on this, I guess I don't need to ask that, right? Because if you're on this webinar, or watching the replay, you're probably either already trading zero DTEs, you've traded them in the past and blew up your account, or you're interested in doing it because you know the potential returns. So let's get into some things here that zero DTE traders face as challenges. Of course, we all want those steady gains. We want to grow our account. We want to take a $1,500 account and turn it into $5 grand, 10 grand, 15 grand. But let's be real. The main thing that gets in the way is what we look at in the mirror when we brush our teeth. It's us. So this tool is going to aim to bring out our strengths as traders and humans too, but and then help to minimize our weaknesses. Okay, and I'll explain how that works starting right now. Okay, so it's called the Zero DTE Terminal, and it's a command center built for precision. It's got AI powered setups, real-time execution, zero tab chaos, meaning you don't have to go from your brokerage account to your charts, to your, back to your charts and check the news. So guys, it's all here. So if you're a zero DTE trader, you know this feeling where you have entries that you're looking for, but you missed them. Oh man, I missed it. Because you all the setup, but you ended up making less or losing money because you overpaid on premium, right? You got in too soon because these decay fast, right? So you have time decay going against you if you're going long. This is for going long zero DTEs, by the way, guys. This isn't for spreads or condors or anything crazy like that, right? It's just straight going long, calls and puts zero DTE on the SPY. And like I said, tab chaos, like trying to manage. How many of you have more than 10 tabs open on your browser right now? You don't need to raise your hand. There's probably a few of you. So you can reduce all that to one spot, a one-stop shop, and the speed is an optimal factor here. So what if everything was on one screen for a zero DTE platform? So that's what the zero DTE terminal does, guys. You have a live chart, you have an options chain, you have an AI scanner. I'm going to talk about more about that in a second. And then you also have a risk panel, which I call a blow-up shield, which is pretty fun. So basically, one click, 5 AI engines, 0 guesswork. Okay. So you've got 5 strategies that are scanning setups that are within the context of these strategies. Again, hang on for that. 2 clicks to stage and execute the trade. All right. And then everything is done for you. You've got your stop loss set and you've got your target set. Okay. So here's the 5 strategies. We'll go into this. We've got plenty of time. I don't think we'll go too long, but we'll probably go into this a little bit. So opening range breakout, the orb, right? Gap trader. That's where you're basically fading or going with gap direction. Expected move. So a calculation of the expected move for a day. You're either fading when you get to the outer edge of the expected move, or in some cases going with the extension based on recent action. And supply and demand zone. So let's, if it's bumping along a certain area where it's bounced for the last few times to hit that area, it will suggest perhaps to go long. Same thing, flip side, buy puts if you're at the top of a, if you're at a supply zone. So, and then trend day momentum. So I think about 14 to 15% of days are trend days. So yesterday would have been was it yesterday? No, Friday. Friday was the last trend day we have. So they're not very common, but we do have trend days. So if you think it's going to be a trend day, you can trade trend day setup. So we'll show you how all that works. But my point is all 5 of these strategies are in this portal, and the AI is going in and finding specific setups that have worked, back testing them in recent trading days, and then delivering them to you. And then it's up to you whether or not you want to trigger those setups. Okay. So again, I'm saying a lot, but hang with me because I'm going to explain it all on the platform. Okay. So your entire workflow, one screen. All right. So you've got a live chart. You've got your open, high, low, close, status bar. You've got ability to paper trade, set up watch list, and also live trade. So you've got your replay engine where you can go back and pick any day from the last 30 days or so and trade it with paper. So you get your reps in like that, even if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And we also have a trading journal. So you can start paper trading instantly, run your first AI scan, trade with confidence. It's built by a trader, me, for other traders like you. All right. No brokerage account required to start. You can trade the SPY or the SPX. Again, 5 back-tested strategies, okay? Built-in training, a knowledge base, and the replay engine, which I already mentioned. So let's go ahead, and I'm kind of being redundant here a little bit. So it's $9.97 for a year, guys, but I'll just spill the beans here. I actually have a free 7-day trial for you. Does not require a credit card, okay? So I'm going to give you the scoop on all that. Just hang tight, though, all right? And I will start sharing the details on how this works. Okay, so after the 7 days, of course, you can upgrade to premium if you want to, and that's how you can start live trading. Okay, so you can only paper trade. The catch is you can only paper trade on the free trial. Okay. All right. So I'm logged in. Oh, by the way, this is like the homepage. Just so you guys get a quick glimpse of it. The price is going to go up to $14.97 after we get a few founding members. But anyways, you guys don't need to worry about that yet because it's the first time you ever heard about it and you haven't even done the trial yet. So here we go. Now, obviously, I can't do a live demo like live demo because it's nighttime and the market is closed. But I can walk you through basically as close as it gets to a real session. So if the market was open, instead of saying practice with time machine, it would say enter live trading. Okay. AI power mode is on. All right. Now, before we go and do a practice session, I want to take you guys through. You can see I have 341 saved setups. If I go through here, I can see all my saved setups. Okay. And it's going to show you the expected value of each. And if you hover over, I'm not going to go through every single feature and aspect of this because it'll be boring. So I'm gonna let you guys do that. You explore on your free trial. We do have a knowledge base too. So if you go to the knowledge base right here, you can go through and read through everything whenever you want to. Fair enough. All right. I don't need to babysit you. You guys are all traders, and you guys can go and look through that as you wish. Okay. So now here's how I started. Okay. So I'm going to give you a little bit of the backstory. So what I wanted to do is be able to a trader to come in here and use the AI to find profitable setups. So I say, okay, I start with the expected move retracement. All right. So based on, let's say the last 14 days of price movement, I want to know, hey, what is most likely going to happen, or what is the most likely price range for any given day based on the last 14 days of price action, right? So it's not a perfect indicator of how much price is going to move on any given day, but it gives you an idea of what's likely, okay? So then you just kind of, if I want to go back 2 weeks or a month on my back test, if you want to factor in the gap or without the gap on the expected move, and then if you want to use a 50% stop or not a 50% stop, Small note here, I haven't really found very many setups that have positive expected value that don't use a 50% stop loss. Okay. So then what I'm gonna do on here is I can go through and then adjust these sliders if I want to do it manually. But really, guys, why would you? Because I have it built in right here, a push button AI that will generate these setups for you based on these parameters. So I'm just going to click scan now. All right. So the AI is going through and scanning the last month's worth of trades. And boom, what do I have here? You've got a setup here that is 100% win rate. Now, sometimes the sample size isn't very big. Let's see. So 100% win rate. Okay. The risk reward is 0.7 to 1. So let's see here. So basically your expected value is 34% per trade, 3 out of 30. So this is the number of times this trade setup materialized out of the last 30 days. Okay, so 3 out of the last, so 3, you know, I get it. It's not a big sample size, but the market changes. The reason why I'm okay with this is because the market changes so fast, guys. It changes so fast, so often. Like, look at today. You had a huge rally because the market thinks we're going to wind down the war in Iran based on Trump's comments today. So everything can turn on a dime, right? So you have to be willing to, you know, using a large sample size, I think is just not really that important. I think it's more important, honestly, to have some recency bias. But that's just my opinion. If you disagree, obviously, you know, you don't have to use the tool. But if you want to save this, so if I click save right here, all right, it's going to save to my save setups over here, in my setups. So you just added one from 341 to 342. All right, so let's do another strategy. Let's do what strategy you guys want me to pick? Orb, gap trader, supply and demand, trend day, or trend day? You let me know. Somebody that's here on the webinar, let me know. I'll wait for your response. So I'll pick one. What's it going to be? Okay, Tom says orb. Okay. Thanks, Tom. Okay, so right here, opening range breakout, otherwise known as the orb. Okay. So I'm going to go back a month again. I'm going to leave the 50% stop loss in. So that means if I get in a 0 DTE trade, it goes against me 50%, it's going to stop out. I'm going to have an OCO order in, meaning it's a bracket order. I have my stop loss and my profit target set at the same time. Okay. Don't have to worry about going in and doing a market sell order unless you want to, because those orders are going to hit. One of them is going to hit by the end of the day. Okay. So here we go. Scan now. Man, I'm not going to go try to find these on my own. I could if I want to, by using these settings here, but you know, really, why would you? Okay, because we have AI built in. All right, so click AI scan now, and boom, what we have here. Okay, so this one. Okay, look at that. Look at the sample size on this one. So those of you that want more points of data, check this out. So 17 out of the last 30 days, this setup has materialized. And what it is you're going long puts on a 30-minute move up out of the orb. So basically, I can't show you in a chart right now because I don't have one up, but basically you have the orb, right? It sets that 30-minute price range from the lower end to the higher end. And instead of taking the orb breakout long, you're actually fading it. See? So it gives you the option of not just taking the trade in the more traditional way you would think, which an orb would be a breakout to the upside out of an opening range breakout would mean you go long, right? Well, why should we limit ourselves if that's not working? So it's actually fading the opening range breakout because that's what's working. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click save. Right? And then I should come over here and now I have 343 save setups. You guys see how that changed? The 343 right there. Okay, so let's do one more and then we'll go to the actual trading, part of it where we can trade, practice trade, and then of course when the market's open we can live trade. All right, so let's do gap. I've always had Interested in trading gaps. I love trading gaps, especially on the SPY. All right, so we'll go back a week. Okay. So yeah, 1 month, 50% stop, hit the scan. All right, it says cash because this way, you know, if you guys aren't, you know, I don't want anybody coming here spamming the AI button because it does cost us extra money to have that feature for you. But once should be enough, you know, for each strategy. Plus, you don't really need to use it anyways. I'll show you why here in a second. All right, so this one here, sample size 3 out of 30. Okay, long call on a gap down, win rate 100%, average move 210. That's like $2.10 on the SPY ETF. Expected value is 64.5. Okay, so over three trades, your average gain there, 64%. I mean, it's only 3 trades over the last month, but again, it's a fast changing market anyways, right? So who cares? You need recent data more than you need a huge pool of it, in my opinion. Okay, so now my save setups went to 344. So you guys see how that works? Any questions on that? That's non-alcoholic beer too, guys, so you know. I just like the taste of it. Okay. All right. Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't. Yes, you can do it for SPX too. I haven't really used SPX, I'm being honest, because the SPY options are cheaper. But I know mainly when I see a lot of people use SPX for like credit spreads and stuff. So we haven't got to the point yet where we can do credit spreads on this. Probably in the future, depending how this launch goes, I guess. But you know, if there's enough interest in it, we'll do credit spreads at some point in the future. For now, it's just long calls and puts. But yeah, so for SPX, it would be the same thing. So I already used my AI scan for the hour on this one. So let me go to a strategy I haven't used it on yet. And again, you don't even need to use this, guys. I'm just showing you basically how the AI setups are generated, okay? This is important for you to kind of understand the backdrop. All right, so 30 days, 50% stop on the SPX. All right. Okay, there you go. So there's a long put on a trend day setup. So basically, it's looking for a setup that it thinks is going to happen on a day where market is going to trend down, and this is where you have it. So 50% target and a 50% stop. So 62% win rate. Okay, 13 out of 30 days. That's a pretty good sample size. So you could add that. Boom, and now you have. So I only have 4 saved setups now for SPX. You can tell I don't really use SPX that much, but it works just the same. Okay, so good question. All right, so let's move on to the next. Probably the most exciting part of it, other than this is practice because the market's closed. But if it were live trading, obviously it'd be more exciting. But before we go there, just one last pit stop on the blow up shield. So don't raise your hand if you've ever blown an account, a small account trying to trade 0 DTEs. Don't raise your hand. All right. So here, these are all self-explanatory. If you want it to, it's not going to stop you from, it's your money. You can trade your money how you want to. All right. So what this is going to do is it's going to warn you when a single trade risks too much of your account based on the threshold that you give it. All right. Based on the threshold that you give it. And maybe we could adjust these because I know with a small account, you got to put more than 15%, you know, usually. Like if it's a really small account, like $1,000 or something, you know, I get it. You know, you're probably going to use a couple $100 on each trade. So we can change that. But same thing here on the danger. It's going to Just going to warn you guys, okay? Just going to warn you. So it's not as easy to make a trade where you're like, oh crap, I didn't mean to use that much money on that trade, because that happens, right? When you're trading a small account, especially zero DTEs are very unforgiving. Yeah, it can work out like, oh, I didn't mean to buy $800 worth of SPY zero DTE calls. I only wanted to buy $200, and the trade goes in your favor. Like, oh, that worked. That's cool. But when it doesn't, then you're like, man, I should probably put something into place so I can't do that again. Okay, so this is just the position size default. And so this is just stuff that's going to give you a nice little warning, right? And maybe it doesn't apply. It doesn't apply for the replay trading like we're about to show you, but it will factor in when you have your live account hooked up. And I'll tell you the broker that works with this here in a second. Okay, cool down timer. If you lose money according to your daily loss limit, if you have $1,000, you lose $250 in a day, you're going to get a cool down timer. So that means you can't place another trade in the system for at least 60 seconds, 90 or 120 seconds, depending on what you want to do. You can turn it off, right? Like I said, it's your money, but it is one extra step you have to take in case you have some self-destructive habits with zero DTEs, okay? So anyways, guys, that's only available really for live trading mode. And obviously the market's closed right now. But so let's go ahead and go into Time Machine. All right, so you guys tell me a date to pick from the last 30 days, from all of March. Tell me what date you want me to pick. And what do you guys see? The journal too. The journal's freaking awesome. Tell me what date you want me to pick here. Any day? Okay. So let's go to, like, I mean, the whole month has been pretty red, but not every day has been. There's a lot of candlesticks on the monthly chart, I think, that aren't necessarily bearish looking, maybe like dojis and stuff. So let's pick let's pick Monday the 9th. All right, so now here's the thing. The AI power mode, that's what I'm talking about next. That work that we did to generate the setups that are saved into our library of setups for each strategy, you don't have to do any of that. That's how I first set it up, is you had to go in and do that to be able to have setups that I call triggered setups, meaning when during live trading or replay trading, when the conditions present themselves, they would activate, right? And then you could choose to either take them or not as trades. But I had a friend, use it, and he was like, what do I do? So that's when it hit me as like, just because I know how to do it, well, obviously I'm going to know the product intimately because I built it, right? So it's one of those things where you have to separate yourself from it, and like it's hard to, put yourself in the shoes of someone who might just want to use it but didn't build it, So anyways, yeah, so bearish. So you basically come in here. So my point in saying all that is that the AI power mode does all that scanning for you. So you can come right into live mode or right into replay mode, and it's going to do that scanning for you. You don't have to do it. You don't have to go through and try to, get a bunch of saved setups. I know you don't want to anyways. That was just me that wanted to do that, nerding out on my own stuff, okay? All right, so let's say I'm bearish, but range day, I honestly don't remember what happened in the market that day. I won't look at my chart over here that I have to my right. Okay, so then you'll click, and then so you click bearish, like your bias going into the day. So this is important. Like tomorrow, going into tomorrow, I don't know what my bias is going to be, honestly. I'm going to have to check the news in the morning on the war and the Strait of Hormuz, oil prices, right? But I would say I lean bearish, maybe not a trend day, because a trend day is like you open, you go down all day, and you close, pretty much. Those days, or to the upside, you open, you go up, all the way up, and then the candle closes near the high of the day. Those days are not that common. Well, I wish they were. Make trading a lot easier, but they're only about 14% of the time, I believe, the last time I looked at the stats. So I'm going to say bearish range day, meaning that it may not start at a certain point and close significantly lower. Okay. So I'm actually going to go bearish and then mixed, no edge, meaning I'm willing to go long calls if the setup looks good. Okay. I'm not going to put anything in here. Just don't care. Max trades. That's just kind of for me to plan out my day. All right. It's not going to like restrict you from doing more than three trades if you put that. All right. All right. So now you see right here where it says AI power mode scanning for setups, guys. All right, so here we go. It found 3 more because remember we started, I was at 344. Now it's at 347, all right? Another thing too, you've got the options chain. So if you don't want to use any of the setups, you say, hey, Matt, man, I don't need no setups. I know how to read the tape. I know how to read the charts. And you can just come in here and place a trade with the options chain if you want to. All right. And then over here, the paper trading, this will be your unrealized and realized totals for the day. So like deployed, this helps you if you're using, because you can use an account under 25K. You can use a small account. But you guys know the rules with cash accounts is you can't, if you got 2,000 in your account, you can't use more than 2,000. You can't place more, you can't use more than that $2,000 in trades. Like if you do one trade that uses $1,993 in a $2,000 account, you open the trade, you close it. Even if you make $1,000 on the trade and your account balance goes to 3,000, you can't make any more trades until the next day if it's a cash account, right? So it's a loophole to get out of the pattern day trader rule, but you have to be careful on how much capital you trade, how much cash you trade, because if you trade with unsettled cash, you're going to get a nasty gram from them and they might freeze your money for a while, or at least freeze your account. You can take your money out, but you won't be able to trade for a while. Okay. All right. So here we go. All right. So then what you do is in replay mode, you just click play. All right. So I'll leave it on 1X mode. So let's just let it play here. Oops. Let me turn. I want to have. So you guys hear it? Turn the alerts on so that you get the, so let's do at the money call. Okay, so this setup triggered, right, guys? So you guys see how that setup triggered based on the opening print? All right, so again, let's read what it was. It was expected move. It was generated by the AI. That's why it says AI. It was not one of the setups that I generated and saved to my save setups tab. So here we go. Win rate 63%, 5 out of 8 in the last 14 days. Average of 85% was the max gain. Stop at 55 or 50% of premium. Okay. So I already clicked on execute trade right there. So that's gonna pop up the second screen. That's gonna be my confirmation screen. So you guys see right here, I've got my 50% stop in, and I've got my 85% take profit. All right. I'm using one contract. Okay. So my total cost is 206. And for transparency, I don't remember what happened this day after this opening bell, but we're about to find out. Okay. So we'll do maybe 2 contracts. So that's going to cost me $413. And if I get stopped out, I'm going to lose 206. But if I win, then, I'm going to make more than 206 in profit. So let's click submit trade. All right. And then we'll click play again for the simulation to keep playing. All right. I thought I clicked play. All right. There it goes. Okay, it's going against me, going against me. So you get a triggered setup, it wasn't my chart. Okay, so that got stopped up. So you guys see that? You see how it works? So it annotates where the trade is entered, and then it also annotates where it exits for better or worse, right? So there you go. The trade exited, therefore you have the realized gain, or in this case, loss. And then that's going to enter that into your journal afterwards. Okay, so save to journal. It should be automatic. I don't know why it says save to journal. Okay, yeah, it's already in there. You don't need to do that. But anyways, so that's kind of how that works in replay mode. So you can just click play. And you'll keep playing the replay of the day's action. So, and then if you guys don't like any, here's another thing too. If you don't like any of the setups that are, move this up a little bit. If you don't like any of the setups that are triggered, so these are all long calls. So you say, well, man, I don't know. I just don't want to trade any of these. So you just click dismiss visible triggered setups, and it's going to dismiss them all. Right? Dismiss visible. Let's go. Get away from here. Get away from me. All right. So there might be a little bug in the replay mode, but I know it works in live mode because I did it today. But anyways, it should dismiss those, and then it'll show the next 5 triggered setups based on rank of expected value. Okay. So anyways, you've got the way this is set up is that the 5 setups it's going to show you that trigger, if they trigger, are going to be the 5 with the highest expected value. All right. Of course, that's not a guarantee the trade's going to work. As you saw, the trade that took in replay mode in front of you lost. So, but it's all about, helping giving you an edge. And I think this is exactly what that does. So if there's another one that you want to use, you basically in live mode, you can click arm. So there's going to be an arm button right here, and that'll arm that setup. It'll queue it up, and then you can execute that as a trade, even if it's not a triggered setup. All right. Now, another way, as I mentioned briefly, let's say you don't like any of the trigger setups, but you want to put in the trade. Let's just say the market's going to do something, right? All right. So then you can go right here. Let's say I want to do the 665 puts. I click right there. I set my target to, let's say I want to do a scalp, right? So I do 20%. I do that. I want to do a 50% stop. We'll do 25%. All right. So the risk reward not the greatest, but I want to place a scalp. All right. So click submit trade. All right. Then you're going to see this is an open position now. All right. So let's play the chart and see what happens. So that's another way you can use this. You don't have to use the triggered setups, and everything is right here. So okay, so that trade worked. You see that? So my daily loss went from 228 to 109. All right, quick scalp. You can see from here to here, it didn't really take much of a directional move, because that's the way these work. These 0 DTEs, they move fast. Okay, so you can see $828 is deployed. So if I'm trading live and I have a $2,000 account, I need to make a mental note of that. I mean, your broker might stop you from doing it. They might not. So you can see that it's a good thing I had a quick profit target in this, because it ended up going higher later on in the morning. Okay. So any questions so far on, and you can switch to 3-minute and 5-minute charts too, but I just use 1 minute. When it proposes a trade, does it pick the strike? Yeah, so the strike price is always going to be the strike price is always going to be the at the money. So it's going to be slightly out of the money. The next strike, so just one strike out of the money. That's all. Okay, so now let's look at, I don't know if this is my favorite part, but I sure do like it. Okay, so let's go to the journal and we'll talk about broker. Okay, so let's go back to February. So I started paper trading with this last month. Starting tomorrow, I could say 2 days ago, or 2 months ago. But yeah, last month, which was February. So I started paper trading with it. So you can see here the results of my day-to-day trading, net 1.9K. I did not build this to say, hey, follow Matt's trades. This is not it's not my aim with this. This is for traders that want to use this tool to develop their own, feel for it. Okay, this is not about, hey, let's follow Matt's trades. Okay, I don't think that model is sustainable. I just don't. Not for zero DTEs. It's just too fast. Okay, so here we go. So if you click on, like, let's see, this day I made 315. Get a little trophy, and I put a note in here from that day. No big catalyst, so play mean reversion / fade the gap. Right. So there was no big catalyst. There was no big news that day. The war hadn't started yet. So I was just playing. If the market went up, if it went up a bit, I probably bought some puts. If it went down a bit, I probably bought some calls based on the setups that were triggered. Okay. This day, it looks like I didn't make any notes this day either. This one here. Okay. Got lucky with Supreme Court ruling while long call. Like, there was some kind of Supreme Court ruling on February 20th. I think that must have been the tariff ruling, right? Chart screenshots. So you can save a screenshot of anything and add it in here. So you can look at that like this, just click on it. So here I saved my screenshot of my trades. So this is where the Supreme Court ruling came out on the tariffs right here. Okay. And let's look at the red day. Okay, so a loss is only permanent if you stop trading. Write it down and move on. That's the AI motivation, I guess, for you guys. All right, so went too big on puts near the weekly expected move lower level. So you got to respect the expected moves, guys. If the market has exhausted a move to one side, then of the expected move, you have to assume it's more than likely going to snap back, or to the upside, it's more than likely going to snap back to the downside. So I got a little too bearish there, and I got my hand caught in the cookie jar. Okay. We'll go to March. So March 1.8K. So I stopped paper trading here because I was switching over to live because I needed to make sure the live trading would work. And it does. Or else I wouldn't be doing this webinar with you. So a couple big nasty red days here, and then I dug myself out of a hole here. Jobs day trend down, followed my plan well. So that's one of my secrets, guys, is that jobs report Fridays tend to be trend days. Maybe not the last few months, honestly, but overall, since I've been trading, I have noticed that to be the case. So that's one good way to bank on trend days. That looks like the only day I made notes, so I wasn't very disciplined in making notes. And then what you can do too is go to analytics right here. So if you click on analytics, it'll do a nice P&L graph for you, right? So 17 trades, 82% win rate, total P&L 3.1K, average P&L per trade $183. Okay. Now, so live trading works. It is with Tradier. So let's talk about that next. So the only broker that works with this now is Tradier. So TRADIER.com. And what you do is you come in and you can go to connect Tradier. So what you would do is let's see. So I've got two accounts of Tradier. I got a margin and a cash. I use my cash for this one. It's a small account because I want to be able to day trade it without the pattern day trader rule, right? So if I go to disconnect all accounts, all right. So I'll show you how it works. Okay, so you go connect with Tradeer, and this is using Tradeer's they call it OAuth. All right, there you go. So then you have to approve access. So everything's on the up and up. I got the approval from Tradeer for this, so it's all good to go. Took a while, but. And then you do have to refresh it. So every morning when you log in before you start trading, you have to come in here and refresh it. Okay, so you have to go through that little login process that I went through to make sure your trades actually go through to your brokerage account. Okay. Now, what you'll do next is just trade. Just go to dashboard, and when the market's open, it'll be a green button here that says enter live trading. And then you pretty much just trade the same way I showed you how you do it in paper mode, in the time machine. Okay. So guys, with that said, that's pretty much a rundown of it. It took a little less than 45 minutes. Let me drop the link here for you guys to sign up. Okay, there it is. So sign up. You guys can go get a 7-day trial. It's not going to cost you anything. And I'd love to see what you guys think. You do need to trade your account. So if you're not in the United States, I don't think you can use Tradeer, but you can at least take the trial and paper trade it for 7 days if you want to, until we can get another broker on here that is a little more friendly towards Canadians and folks in the UK. Okay. So I will post this replay for you guys soon, and maybe in the morning or some point tomorrow in the next 24 hours. But yeah, that's the link. It's 0dteterminal.com/landing. So read that page over real quick, watch a little video I made for you, and then go sign up for the 7-day free trial. Free trial link just looks like this, just a really basic page. Okay. But I need you to fill that out. Make sure you put all your info in here, choose your password, and then you'll get a login, and you can literally start paper trading tonight on replay mode, like right now. And again, if you want to upgrade to premium, it's $9.97 for a year after that. So if you guys got any questions, I got a couple minutes. Okay, cool, Tom. Yeah. Hope you can grab a trial. Okay, guys. Well, if that's it, I mean, we'll wrap up and call it a night. So thanks for watching and live. And if you're watching the replay, appreciate that too. You can always hit me with a question. It's matt@mmpublishinginc.net is my email. Thanks, guys.